Brownbird here with another video. Before I begin, make sure that you like and subscribe. Thank you. So today's topic is going to be about the idea of street dudes, gangsters, and that, usually what you see is that you have a lot of reformed pookies, quote unquote, that will come in and have a conversation about the gang lifestyle and about how they changed their life from being in the penitentiary system and now changing to tell other brothers and sisters not to get involved in it. And, of course, that goes into like things that I think about, like the show Scared Straight, where they send these children off to the prison to tell them to get out of their dysfunctional behavior and to change their life. In this video right here, we have a famous influencer by the name of Phalan Jones, who is more or less an attractive woman who speaks this conscious type of talk. And in this video, she's going to be talking about the gang lifestyle and how it should be adored, about how we shouldn't judge men for their past ways or the fact of the matter that they used to be or are still in gangs. I'm going to give my commentary on it and give a level-headed commentary as this plays. So, Pete.
I understand wholeheartedly, and I've had somebody ask me that before, but I think that what people have to comprehend is that at the end of the day, they're men first. So you could be 100% Paru or 100% A-Trade, wherever it is you're from, but that's still only 10 to 20% of who you are as a man. And I think it creates a big misconception when you try to minimize a man to, this is a gang member. Like, no, you sound naive.
It's not really about sounding naive, in my opinion, and I'm only saying it because I understand the environment. This is a problem I have with the whole entire gang member narrative. Yes, we do put down gang members because those are the people that we have. Those are the people that represent the stereotypical so-called black man. We don't want to be revered as those type of men. If those dudes tried, and again, it makes me think about the 80s where everybody was making it big off of drugs and gang violence, people killing each other and doing all these different things. The problem in this society is that gang members are associated with the so-called black man's aesthetics, is that he's made to be the black man. That's the problem. It has nothing to do with being naive. And that's where I disagree with that statement. But yes, I do agree with a point that they are men first and that we shouldn't put men down. Yes, we don't support their decisions, but we shouldn't put them down because they're men first. I agree with that.
Of course, don't get me wrong. It's still niggas that's standing at the corner store pressing. But I'm not the same person I was at 21 or the same person I was at 25. People grow and evolve beyond that point. I know a lot of niggas that's gang members that are investing in businesses, investing in franchises. They own homes. They're taking care of their families, households. They're giving their children love that they didn't receive when they was younger, traveling the world, reaching back, gaming their young homies. And they're really good examples as far as men for our...
All right. Now, we could take this to two different perspectives. Now, I understand what she's getting at. This is something I heard from another brother that talks about the intelligent thug program. And what I will say to that is that, yes, regardless, at the end of the day, people in general, regardless of any background, have the absolute chance of making something out of their situation and moving accordingly in order to see different things that they haven't before. Again, the problem I have with it is that the gang member is associated with being the stereotypical so-called black man. And that it's unfair for brothers that's not in that realm to get shy and be accepted by the same group of women because of the lifestyle, because of that one person. Okay? And it's nothing wrong. A man can be intelligent. A man can be this. A man can be that. But that is my only gripe with that, because it's associated with saying what a black man is. When they see a black man, they automatically think of him as a gang member. And because of the fact of the matter, the gang member or the degenerate is more than likely going to get more love, and this here say more pussy, from the so-called black woman or women in general because he's a gang member. I don't see anything positive about what gang members do because they beef over dumbass shit.
for our brothers and cousins, etc., however you want to put it. So, I understand if you might have had, your bad experiences with little boys, but don't put down no man based off of the choices that he might have made when he was very young, off of where his mama might have raised him at. Because if you're not from LA...
I get it. Okay, and she's going to bump into the whole LA and Compton thing. I understand that. But at the same time, a man has the right to correct his way and correct his decisions off of doing stuff that could end him up in jail. So I don't buy that whole entire rhetoric. And again, it is popularized. The educated lames is not popularized. The so-called black men that have thousands of businesses and they keep themselves out of troubles, or reform pookies that's teaching these brothers and sisters to stay out of the gang lifestyle, they are not honored. The reason why you might have people like Wallow that she's going to mention in a little while is because he used to be a gang member. He still has that aesthetic that so-called black people like, because he's quote unquote hood from Philly. And she's going to mention Wallow in a second, but that's the point that I'm trying to make about it.
From LA or surrounding areas in California, I really don't expect you to comprehend what it is I'm saying. And I saw a post that Wallow made. He made a post. He was talking about how, it's okay if you ain't caught a body, or it's okay if you ain't in the streets or doing drugs or ain't been in jail. Like, that's fine. But you be who you are. And I'm glad that he made that post. I'm so glad he made that post, because, people need to be confident with who they are. Because you can still have a stilo and an aura about yourself that screams confidence without having to go through all that extra bullshit. Because that aura is not something that you can buy. So understand that you could be who you are without putting somebody down because of what they are doing or where they're from or what they might be associated with, and without making yourself seem superior or holier than thou, or however you want to put it.
Okay, I understand her point on that, and I understand maybe what she's gearing towards it is ego. Now, again, there's certain brothers out here that may involve in that lifestyle, but again, my only take back and my only problem with things like this is, of course, this is a conscious / hood woman, I guess they would call it, because she's still appealing to the everyday masses of the so-called black people who may live in the hood. This is what I say to brothers that might again be involved in the gang violence and all this other stuff. The problem is the environment, that people stay around in garbage and then try to convince people that there's gold in the garbage. That is not a good thing to say at all. Do I see anything positive about gang members? No, not really. The only thing that I see positive about gang members is the fact of the matter that there is some type of quote unquote brotherhood where you have some type of support system. That's the only thing. But you can get support system by having best friends. You don't need to be in a gang to even prove that. And she's going to say that if we was to ever have a personal conversation, she wouldn't understand it. There is nothing great about the gang culture. I don't care what you say. There is nothing good about the gang culture. Putting yourself at high risk for being in prison and knowing that these gangs was infiltrated or have some type of ties to the government in general does not mean the gang is good in general. It is not good. There is no positivity that comes out of these gangs. It is a popularity thing, and it is popularized to make the so-called black man look like a beast. So yes, I would more or less want to educate, and I would more or less want to give more credence to the brothers that's not being involved in that. I'd give more credits to blurs. I would give more credits to men like myself who's interested in history and analyzing the environment for the way that it is. I would encourage more so-called black men that's in the medical field or technicians or any type of field where they're making money instead of getting involved in gang violence or gang membership. But that's not to say that gang members can't be positive, but I don't find something good in it. And I don't know if that's contradicting my statement, but I don't see a positive in gang violence or whatever. It's just that it makes so-called black men look like a beast. And it's an unfair trial for the common everyday so-called black man doing what he's supposed to do, because now he's looked at as an enemy just off a general principle because of the quote unquote Pookies and Ray Rays from the block that a lot of these women fall in love with. So I disagree, sister, but that's on a humble respect. Otherwise than that, stay more in tune for my videos, like and subscribe. Peace.